What's going on, y'all? Joe Sims back here on the School Site Corner. Today, I'm actually diving into when I get involved, okay? Now we're talking about the fun part. Because after one of the three ways that I mentioned earlier, typically with those three ways, administration typically comes to me. And it's in the form of an email or passing in the hallway. Hey, I got a couple of students I need to talk to you about. And it's like, all right, bang, we'll set a time up. My calendar, my schedule's free here. We'll set up a little 15, 20-minute consultation, maybe 30. Depends on how many students. And we'll just talk about the kid, and it will be a consultative setting to where we decide how to move forward. All right, this is the beginning stages of the referral process, showing some growth. If you plant a seed, this is the first little sprout, okay? So after we talk about the kid, we set up a referral meeting. And this typically, I say typically because there's a standard, and that's what I'll just talk about here, but then there are lots of other additives that you can put on it. And so the actual referral is set up to where you have a special education teacher, you have possibly a speech language pathologist, you have the school psychologist, you have the administration known as the LEA, but that stands for like a local educational agency. That's a mouthful, so LEA rides. And so you have them, and then obviously you have the teacher, you have interventionists, they may be involved, anyone else that is relevant, but most of all, you have the parent. You need to be at your kid's referral meeting. Like, you just need to be there, because this is the place to where we're talking about everything. This is the time to be as real as possible. At this point, you kind of need to know what we're doing. And if you don't, I'm going to take that opportunity to explain it, because once we go forward, I'm testing to see if your kid meets eligibility for special education. I haven't seen it a lot now, but earlier in my career, I would see parents get all the way through and then kind of not realize that special education was on the table. And it's just because they weren't knowledgeable. They were not aware of the process. And that's why I'm here for you right now. Okay? So if there's any kind of hesitation, concern, it needs to be addressed at this referral meeting. Okay? And so at this referral meeting, we have all of those players that I just mentioned. And we sit down and we talk about the student. There's a flow to this, but typically I'll read the crowd. When I read the crowd, if I determine that there's someone to take the lead on managing the meeting, then I'll let that. If not, I'll direct it, and basically it would become like an interview with everyone in the room, because a lot of people in the room know the kid. I don't know them. And so when I say interview, I'll just ask questions. Usually I start with the parent. Hey, while we're here, then I'll move to the teachers. What are you seeing in the classroom? I just have a certain way of interviewing, and I do that so I can get information. All right. This information is going to be very critical to me customizing my evaluation to fit the kid, if we get to that place. And so I'm listening for these little things that may say, the kid might need this sort of evaluation as opposed to this one. So that's the way that I get the information. And after we go through the process of talking about the kid, everyone share their information. Now it's time to get consent. And that's basically you signing away to say you approve and you give permission for the evaluation to take place. And that's when the 60-day timeline is began. And so I say that because that's the legal amount of time. You might hear plus or minus a few here and there, just depends on interpretation. You have a certain amount of time before this evaluation needs to be completed to be in compliance with federal guidelines and laws. All right, so I'm going to make a short video to kind of go a little bit deeper into how I make my decision. Not me personally, like I decide, no, how the group talks, but the decision to test certain areas. I'm going to go in detail on how that is actually done, and I think you'll enjoy it. So catch me back, watch that little short clip, and we're going to keep it pushing.